This is Thomas with a treat for the best car community on the planet. This is Autogefuehl with the Mercedes E63 AMG facelifted version in Thomas Blue, or as they call it, Brilliant Blue Magno in this matte finish. More to come now with German Autobahn. Let's go! Woo! That the floor mat came up or something? Did anyone see that? Hey, my car accelerates that hard. The floor mats come up. In the front, all facelifted E-Class now get LED as standard, and here the E63 also gets the otherwise optional multi-beam LED with high beam function as standard as well. Then daytime running light here, one stripe now, and then there are two dots on the inside. An S-Class would get three dots, for example, a C-Class one dot. And here the E63 also has the vertical fin styling for the massive front grille in the A-form, Panamericana form grille they call it. And yeah, that color though, right? The length is at 4.92 m or 194 inches, and here the E63 S to be precise, because this is the top version, gets the 20-inch wheels as standard, really massive styling, and also optional carbon ceramic brakes here with the golden brake calipers. This looks really massive together with this color as a contrast, right? And also this styling, it proves sports cars do not need to have black wheels nor black frames around the windows. I think here with the bright wheels and the chrome around the windows, such a great contrast to the blue color. Yeah, I mean, for a sports sedan, this is just pure awesomeness, isn't it? Can we enjoy this 3/4 rear view together for a second? Thank you. Yes, that was needed. And also really good that they have this kind of, integrated lip right here. So it's subtle, but it gives a little bit more downforce at higher speeds. And here then the E63 S version, just a little more horsepower tune, a little bit more equipment. In the lower part, massive diffuser here, and yeah, Autogefuehl fake exhaust police needs to pay attention right here, because the outer tip is indeed fake. Yeah, that's the only hit and miss here with the E63. I think otherwise the styling is good. Here with the facelifted E-Class, you can also see that the tail lamps are more horizontally drawn and are now split by the trunk. This gives definitely more width to the vehicle. Suspension wise, by the way, air suspension as standard, but with a stiffer AMG tune. Yeah, that's the 4-liter V8 bi-turbo, 612 horsepower, and here in the E63 S. And the acceleration figure to 1 km or 62 miles an hour, 3.4 seconds only. And the power to the ground, all-wheel drive with a rear-wheel bias. Car key looks like this, AMG badge here and another AMG badge at the back. Let's check out the door closing sound, standard feature in Autogefuehl. Yes, very nice. Sometimes it's not worth it to pay so much money for an extra sound system. In this case, it is. The Burmester sound system at the moment, my favorite one. So, and then the interior right there, with the facelift, new steering wheel. The AMG steering wheels, however, AMG line and also the true AMG models, have this two-fin design, which looks more modern than the others' basic styling. And here then also the AMG models get these special gauges for adjustment of suspension or exhaust, and also here the drive mode selected at the steering wheel. That's very practical to have. However, not practical is that now everything is capacitive here at the steering wheel. That's, it looks clean, but it's annoying to use. Usually you get a standard sports seat, and this one here is the optional bucket seat. As far as I could configure it, not available in the UK or the US, but that's a good thing, because they here are less comfortable than the normal sports seats. Yeah, and while for the E53 you can still get Dynamica microfiber for the seats, it's not available here for the 63. That's of course hit and miss here for Mercedes, which promises to be more sustainable and animal friendly. Yeah, in an E63, not yet. That perspective is really cool, right? Like close to the interior and the sporty steering wheel and the sporty seats, right? And now let's get inside, and yeah, seating about this. So these bucket seats, as I said, are only available in Germany and some other markets, and they hold you tighter, yes, but then again, definitely less comfort, especially long term. Steering wheel, good adjustment here, electric up and down and so on. And the thing is here with the facelifted steering wheel, yes, the capacitive buttons on the steering wheel are worse than before. However, the form of the steering wheel and the grip you have, and this this form right here where you can put your fingers and then here with your thumbs. This really feels awesome and gives me so much control while driving. 1.86, 6.1, enough headroom left. This one here, the one without panoramic roof in this case. All E-Class now come with digital instruments only, but then you would have 10.25 inch 2 times as base, but here the higher models automatically come with the otherwise optional 2 times 12.3 inch screens, and they kind of dissolve into one unit. But this layout here, to me, way better than the all-new Mercedes layout we have in the C-Class or the S-Class, where you have this big vertical screen, or an EQS, and then this hyper screen, even worse. This one here is more user focused. You have a touchscreen which is somewhat, reduced in the flexibility or what you can do, but that's a good thing. I don't need much more, Vents are really prominent right here. On the steering wheel, right side you can control the right screen, left side the left screen, and here we still have manual climate dials. Glad that we still have them. Here, not piano lacquer, that's good, with a carbon fiber, it looks really premium. AMG badge, a real one. Open that, adaptive cup holders and connection for your smartphone. Inductive charging pad is available, or then here, USB-C. Oh, Michelle just wrote us, he finished another thumbnail. Thank you, Michelle. So yeah, thanks to Michelle, we have great thumbnails. And then here, this touchpad thingy. Yeah, I think that a normal turning dial would be more, more suitable to get a good feeling. And you can change the driving modes down there, but usually you do it at the steering wheel. And my favorite feature here, of course, the ambient lighting, really sensual arrangement they have here for that. Digital instruments are clear to read. You can, however, also change the styling. I think to the, blue styling on exterior, the classic blue interior gauge style fits better, but you can also have it in a sporty way here, for example. And of course, also you could put the GPS map in the middle. That's also a good thing to have, or you can also make it all over the screen. By the way, here the control of the instruments, I just did it by looking through the camera and kind of did it by heart somehow. I didn't even really see it. Yeah, I mean, this generation I can handle very well. The next generation MBUX by Mercedes, all new one, I just can repeat it again. It is more complicated than before, and a lot of manufacturers are doing that. New tech and even more complicated to control. It gets kind of messy, and I think that's the wrong direction. Or what's your take on that? I think new technology should also make life easier. Well, and in the driving part we will do this close-up infotainment. So this is fairly easy to control if you compare it. And at the GPS, you see here, it's also responsive enough. The MBUX, how good that one is, the voice input depends also on your web connection. But let's try something. Today in German. Temperatur 22 Grad. So adjust the temperature 22 degrees.
Okay, ich stelle die Temperatur auf 22 Grad.
Yes, jawohl. Yeah, just joking. So that worked. So set the temperature to 22 degrees. That worked very well. Apple CarPlay integration is like this. It's not all over the screen, because then in that way you can still see the temperature left and right. And well, that sound system here is just my absolute favorite one. It has such a great surround sound. I love that. And the good thing here is also a very good sound system must be that good that when you play one of your songs and it has a low quality or of the file or something, you hear that it's so bad that you have to skip to another sound, to another song which has a better quality. And that's what's happening here. In the rear, the comfort is, let's say, reduced. It's okay, but considering this segment here, I mean, headroom is okay with 1.86 legroom. The only advantage of these really slim sport seats, you have a little bit more legroom. This will be a little bit more reduced when you have the normal sport seats, but you should still go for them for best comfort. But here overall, it's okay, once again, but not the best in comfort in the rear. This is cool here, the quality of materials here in the rear, and also Mercedes sound system. Such a great sound here, also when sitting in the rear, carbon fiber inlet and so on. And then middle tunnel here, really big of course. In the middle part, you can also spend your time, that's possible. 2 more USB-C chargers there now, and here in the middle part, some cup holders. Trunk area right here. See, the cabin trolley also fits in a vertical way. You can also fold the seats right here, but then you have to go around or push it through with your luggage. But yeah, this can be a thing, because here further in, it's really hard to push it because it gets a little bit more narrow. The length here at 115 centimeters or 45 inches, and the total height here is 50 centimeters or about 20 inches. And the width here still 1 meter or 40 inches. Woo! Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge here with our Thomas's Performance Driving Lounge. And yeah, this was a very nice acceleration and also a good old V8 sound. And we talked about it in driving episodes from electric vehicles. It is somehow missing, and I'm really certain for EVs you can also induce that artificially. It's not the same, but you can also make it somewhat equal. I'm pretty sure you can actually, but no one has done it yet. Like this. Whoa. And yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely open to EVs, and in so many respects they are definitely better than combustion engines. So I really hope someone is coming up with EV sounds that give us the same experience like this. That's 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour. Wow. Super stable here on the road, and this is an E-Class, you know, but it's definitely an E-Class gone wild, and wow, brake performance definitely really nice. Wow. I mean, I'm not sure if it's on camera. Was it on camera? I had the feeling like when I did the first acceleration that the floor mat came up or something. Did anyone see that? I really have to check it myself on the video. If that happened, that will be like the acceleration meme of the century or something. Hey, my car accelerates that hard, the floor mats come up. This will be really, really awesome. I hope that did happen actually. Here in the Sport Plus mode, by the way, the air suspension is set on a stiffer note. So this feels kind of rough, but you also have a great control then, definitely. So when you do a lane change, nothing shakes up at all. You have such a great handling for the vehicle. The steering is also quite natural actually, reacts very well. You don't have to steer that much. When you put it to comfort, then the tone is being tuned down, and you have also softer suspension. However, if you go for the 63 model, you have to bear in mind it is still somewhat rough and stiff as for suspension. You will lose comfort. The 53 models are a little bit better for the compromise, definitely, but I told you that a couple of times before. Oh no, 4-cylinder mode. So they are saving fuel also by that, cylinder on demand, and shows me a symbol in the instruments. So with Mercedes, it's always the way that the base models are really set to comfort, and the AMG is really set on very stiff, sporty tone. And with Audi and BMW, they're kind of like in the middle between that, you know. So Mercedes has the biggest difference between the AMG and non-AMG models. This will somewhat diminish with their EVs. But here with the combustion engine models, it's still somewhat the case. By the way, cylinder on demand and so on, consumption, when you're not doing like, you know, super acceleration all the time and so on, when you're more like in normal regions, you can score some 12 liters or more kilometers or 20 mpg. Yeah, that's of course not really economic. That's definitely clear. Yeah, so this will also be better with performance EVs, because with performance EVs, when you go off the brakes, you can gain back some of the energy and so on. And we have a lot of 6-cylinder engines, by the way. They are actually quite good as for the fuel economy, but that's usually not the case here for the V8 turbocharged, at least. You know, there are some V8 naturally aspirated engines, older ones, which were quite okay, like in the Jaguar XK or something. Drove that myself. That was actually very good as for the fuel economy as well, you know, but not the turbocharged V8s. They are usually really bad in the fuel economy. We see it also with BMW, where you go then inline 6 versus V8. You have at least 3 to 4 liters more than with the bigger engines then. So it's definitely better to stick with the 6 cylinders also for the Mercedes to make it more economic. Yet at the same time, for the sound, of course, you still go for a V8, and that's what's really expensive here. That's the top of the line sporty E-Class here. It's still a good Autobahn vehicle, so when you set the cruise control here, for example, you also have the active steering assist. And it's not too intrusive. It makes very smooth adjustments to the steering wheel. I really like that. And with a nice evening light here for you as well now, where we can all see something of the ambient lighting. Yeah, E-Class ambient lighting is really top notch, I like that. And if we compare the new Mercedes models like Mercedes S-Class, C-Class, or then the electric EQS, EQE, this instrument cluster here to me is more, it feels more natural, it's more likable to me at least. I'm not sure what about you, tell me in the comments. It's just easier to control everything, you know, it's more up to the driver, and you can focus doing this here. Wow, this comes so well. Did I just say that? Yeah, I hope no one scrolls back. So, wow, a good feeling. It's so much fun to drive this one. The seats are a little bit stiff, told you earlier. So, yeah, I think really UK and US market don't have the possibility to go for these anyway, but it's good. They are really like, you know, slim and hard. So the normal sport seats will do a better job definitely. And if they would be available with microfiber Dynamica like in the 53, that would also be more comfortable. So that's a little bit of a let off here in the 63 model. So overall, with seat and suspension combined, to me for an E-Class, not comfortable enough, but still, it is an E-Class, it will give you good comfort. But when I drive or buy an E-Class, even if it's a sporty model, I still want long-term comfort, and this is not necessarily the case with the 63 model. So that is something you trade in. You get this really sporty characteristics, and here the shifting pedals, like, you know, this fork style. And wait a minute, they've yoke shifting pedals. Take this, Tesla. Maybe the Mercedes engineers said. Yeah, but the yoke steering wheel from Tesla came later, of course, and I can still not imagine having this yoke steering wheel yet. But I'll test it. I'll definitely test it. Yeah, it's really interesting nowadays when you follow our channel. We have Teslas, we have Audi, BMW, Mercedes, of course, and all the other brands, and it's so interesting how they compete and how, like, these things are better with this brand, the other things are better with this brand, and so much is happening in the automotive industry. And we also try to give you a mix of reviews, you know, like the all new cars and with a new concept and all EVs. Still at the same time, we're in this transition phase, people are still buying combustion engines, so we still present combustion engines to you. And I hope, you have to tell me in the comments, that's the best decision for you at this moment, to present you still the whole variety of cars. If you want that change, you can put it in the comments. Really looking forward to that. And you know, I think it's good to portray actually all the cars, and then to give advice which ones are the best and where you can go for a better decision maybe, depending on what is important to you. Here, by the way, once again in the slalom style, wow, this hooks up to the road so well. Yet at the same time, when you're in traffic, you feel also quite well with that. But yeah, probably I think 53 model would be a better compromise, more economic 6-cylinder engine, way better in the price. I think the extra price here for the 63 is not justified. It's more like the badge. Yeah, performance and sound from the V8 is definitely there. That's pretty cool, no doubt about that. So yeah, having a lot of fun here on the Autobahn, can't deny that.